This just shows the Iridium constellation. I'll talk, and then we'll go to the next one after this. This is okay. So there's 6 planes of 11 satellites in each plane. And the constellation is, of course, fixed in inertial space, and the Earth rotates underneath the constellation. All satellites have cross-plane antennas, so the satellites are all interconnected with dish antennas. And so you can communicate with one satellite on the ground, and you can communicate with the whole fleet. The gateway is up in the ASU Research Park, so the entire telephony from the whole globe is brought. There's one gateway servicing the entire constellation. We have a PSTN, three PSTNs, AT&T, Sprint, and Telstra, connecting to Australia, and so that's how you backhaul the communications from Iridium. Let's see. So we'll go on to the next one. Let's see if I can.
I couldn't understand what you just said. Did you mean that there was only one access point to the whole?
Yeah, for telephony stuff, you have one ground. You only need one ground access point, right? And you have 3 antennas. So what you do is when the satellite comes overhead, there's 4 feeder link antennas at the bottom. So you lock onto one of those. So you radiate in a wideband sense, and you bring down all the telephony. And then the satellites have, these are K-band crosslinks. The phased arrays are L-band, the crosslinks are K-band. So you operate at K-band, and the satellites all talk to each other. The ground hardware is L-band, so the little handheld telephones talk to the phased arrays. So you have all of those calls go up to the network in the sky, and then you can, with just one ground station, you can bring down all the traffic. So technically you only need one. And then the same, now for satellite telemetry tracking and control, there's two antennas in Canada, one in Yellowknife and Iqaluit, and we put a telemetry tracking and control station in Fairbanks, Alaska, and there's also one in Svalbard, which is north of Norway. So those antennas bring down all the satellite telemetry, and the satellite network ops health is done at Leesburg, Virginia. So what I wanted to show on here was, here's how the satellite, you can see the triangular design, and here you can see how the satellites were processed horizontally. So we had, the satellites were on wheels. The typical time for final integration and test of a whole satellite was on the order of 20 days. So where today, if you look at a satellite, it takes 9 months to a year for final assembly and test. I spent, on the average, about 20 days. And we had 2 ovens going. And when we set up the today, every satellite goes through thermovac, acoustic, vibration. What I did was we qualified the design of our factory. We designed our factory. We put the first set of hardware through. We qualified the hardware and the factory, and we let it rip. And so I didn't put all the satellites. I only put the first satellite through thermovac, acoustic, and pyroshock. And of course, every so often, there'd be a change in the Lockheed management structure. So then they'd fall off the bandwagon, and of course their success was built on every satellite being thermovac'd and shocked and acoustic and vibrated, and so then I'd have to put the Lockheed train back on the track. And let's see, another thing was when I went through the program, I didn't sign any big fixed price contracts. My contract with Lockheed, it's all public, was on the order of $1 billion. It was $900 and some million. And we didn't sign our big fixed price contract till we got through PDR. So I selected Lockheed and Raytheon in the first quarter of 1991, And I didn't sign these big contracts until June of '93. So I spent '91, '92, and '93 working the requirements and training the teams how to be successful commercially and to change their mindset. All of my contracts were fixed price, and so we trained our suppliers that on fixed price contracts you make more money. I'm going to pay them, you put a bag of shekels, and they make more money if they reduce their cycle time, improve their quality, because I only pay them if they deliver high quality hardware. So they know if their hardware doesn't work, they don't get paid. It's not just profit. You don't pay them unless the hardware works. And then if they reduce the cycle time, reduce the improve the quality, then they make more money. And so so it's a completely different mindset than the standard traditional space business. So I spent 2.5 years training the teams and designing our high quality factory to execute all that. And this is showing a Delta launch out of Vandenberg. We selected, one of the things I did was I wanted a rocket that had over 10 years of service. So when you look at the rockets we selected, we used Proton, the Russian rocket, which is one of the Russians today most reliable rockets. The Delta II out of Vandenberg, and then the Long March 2C. And the Long March 2C is the Chinese, that's their basic workhorse for their land-based ICBM fleet. Okay, I think we're maybe ready for some questions.